Yes, hello guys, and welcome to the Chelsea preview. Joining me today to talk you through this preview is Adam. How are you, Adam?
I'm doing really good, Nick. It's been a good day today. I'm away shortly, so can't wait to get away. I don't know about the game, but how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Now, just for a bit of context to the viewers, where is it you're going?
Oh, I'm off to Paris on Friday.
Permanently, I believe so. Is that correct?
Not yet. Almost. End of the month.
Permanent.
Yeah, at the end of the season, I had to cope with the rest of the awful season before then.
Yeah, it's not a bad move to make. The beautiful city of Paris. I'm a big fan of it myself. Now, before we dig into the preview, I want to talk some topical stuff. So first up, we have some news regarding centre backs, and according to Fabrizio Romano, our centre back list consists of 3 players: Pau Torres, Jules Koundé, and Jurrien Timber, who I like to call Justin Timberlake, because it just proper reminds me of his name. Out of these players, Adam, which one would you take and why?
Really pushed on whether, Koundé or Timber. Timber's obviously worked with Ten Hag. He understands his whole system. He can play in more than one position as well. So quite a very versatile player there. And Koundé, as I was saying, he's a really fast, proper good defender. He's French as well, could have a connection with Varane. He's a target for the likes of Chelsea, has been for, is it 1 or 2 years now? But I'm thinking I'm more pushed on Timber, if I'm being honest, because he's worked with Ten Hag in the past. And I think he's also 3 years younger as well. So that's why I go for him.
Interesting. I actually like all 3 options. I think they're very different in their own ways. I think Pau Torres is very good on the ball. I believe he's left-footed, relatively tall, and he's done well for Villarreal. Jules Koundé is obviously much smaller, 5'10", still very good in the air, relatively quick, and he's versatile, can play wing-back or centre-back. He's done both for France. I'm a massive fan of Koundé. And then Timber, obviously, is a young prospect at Ajax, worked under Ten Hag before, and looked really good himself. But if I was to, I wouldn't mind any 3 of them, but I'd probably go with Koundé. I think Koundé is the more proven at the minute and would be less of a risk, I'd say, to sign him, because what we need now, players coming in, I feel like we can't afford to have like people come in and just flop. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Especially with the amount of money we just spent on Harry Maguire and stuff like that. So yeah, my personal choice would be Koundé, but I believe all 3 good ones are all 3 of the options are good choices. And even if
we have all 3,
yeah, well, yeah, if Justin Timberlake was to come in as well, then he'd do just a good job and put on pretty good vocals in the dressing room. Anyway, another story I wanted to go through, Adam, was Erik Ten Hag is set to start pre-season with Donny van der Beek in his United squad. He will now at least have a chance to fight for a way back at Manchester United. That's coming from Mike McGrath. 2 questions. Do you see a future with Donny in it? And could we see a midfield of Donny, Bruno and Tchouaméni potentially?
I think, yeah, he's going to be in the plans. He's worked with Ten Hag in the past. He understands his system. He's a very versatile player as well. Can play more than one position. The only issue is he's never had the chance since he's come to United, and this is his best chance now. I think we jokingly said it in the past about how, we'd almost need to bring Ajax to Manchester United for him to play. And it's almost happening now, which is, it's mad. But could we see that midfield? I'd love to see that midfield, if I'm being honest.
Balanced, isn't it? It's very balanced.
Yeah, very well balanced. Bruno can obviously create a lot of the chances. Donny can be that more box to box, playing short 1-2s around the edge of the box as well. And Tchouaméni can just sit there, destroy, break up play, get it on to the next person. I'd honestly love to see it. They're all, relatively young as well. Bruno's still young for that position. We see De Bruyne, I think, is 2-3 years younger or older than him. I
think Bruno's 26 in it, or something like that.
Yeah.
Donny's 24, I think, and then Tchouaméni is 21. So that could be like a future midfield, like for 5 years, I'd say.
Yeah, for 5+ years. And that's what I think we said it in one of the previous shows. We haven't had a world-class midfield since the days of Scholes and Keane. And
exactly.
Looking at that midfield, if you can get them playing, that's going to be one of the best midfields in Europe. So
see, I had a bit of a blip on. Sorry, I had a bit of a blip on that. So I was listening back to it yesterday, and I was thinking, well, obviously we had Scholes and Carrick or when Hargreaves was playing. But I mean, in general, one player that's been in that midfield. So Scholes has always been about. When Scholes left, it was kind of like Carrick on his own, and we didn't have two world-class midfielders. Do you know what I mean? So the actual two world-class players we've had together, it's always been Scholes involved anyway. And we haven't had a player like Paul Scholes, nowhere near Paul Scholes. So what we do for a player like that, I think they're a very rare breed, to be honest, in a minute. But there's a similar question down the line that we'll get into about that. So let's start off with the brain teaser. As you know, it's a preview, so I've always got a little brain teaser. Not too hard. This one's medium level, I'd say. As it's a Chelsea preview, I want to give you a question about the most famous fixture between us. Of course, it was the 2008 Champions League final. And the question I want to ask is, and for anybody watching, put it down in the comments below, obviously before you hear the answer, what you think it is. And the question is, who scored both the goals in the first 90 minutes, so in the final? Who got the assist to Ronaldo's goal? Who got sent off? And who missed the penalties in the shootout?
Okay, so
we'll start off with both the goals in the 90 minutes.
Okay, so it was Lampard and Ronaldo.
Correct.
Yeah.
Who got the assist to Ronaldo's goal?
Was it Wes Brown?
It was across from Wes Brown, a little header there. Do you remember who got sent off?
Drogba.
This one might be a bit. Yeah. It was Drogba. Yeah. Got a red card for slapping Vidic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then who missed the penalties? This is probably the most difficult one out of them all.
I know Ronaldo, Terry.
Who was the last one?
Who was the last one?
So the last one,
Anelka.
I'll give you a clue. Yeah.
Anelka,
I was going to say the last one, he didn't miss. It got saved, didn't it, from Van der Sar?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like the 7th penalty, I think. And that's
I remember that game really, really well because I actually could have died after it. Funny enough.
Why?
Yeah. My sister went out to the kitchen when the penalties were on when John Terry was standing up to take it because she couldn't watch us lose it. And I ended up going out to the kitchen telling her, "Oh, did we lose? No, we won." And she picked me up, she wrapped her arms around my neck and just picked me up by the neck. And I was just like this. So I heard my neck cracked and I have a creak in my neck till this day because of that.
Wow.
But yeah, so
how old
I could
is
have
your sister at this point?
She is 30 now. So I would have been quite younger.
Yeah.
I would have been 5 years. Back then, I'm trying to think, what is it, 4 plus 10, 14 years? Would have been about 10, maybe around that time.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why you got a bit of a long neck. She's just extended your neck by about 2 inches. It's stretched you up. Fair enough. Someone could do that for me because I'm short as fuck. I'm not short, I'm like 5'9" or something like that. So yeah, if anyone wants to do that for me, you're more than welcome. Now, looking towards the game, we're at home against a Chelsea side who are in relatively good form. Well done in the brain teeth, by the way. Who are in relatively good form at the moment. They've obviously have a lot of stuff going on outside the club, which seems to be affecting the team slightly, but they still have a lot of quality. And in my opinion, they was unlucky to go out in that Madrid game. Like they put in such a good performance and deserve to come out with that with something. So it was very unlucky in that. If we look at the history of these two teams, you know, we've had some great rivalries going back to the Mourinho days when he first came to Chelsea. We obviously had the Champions League final between us, which I mentioned then, Premier League title fights, and, you know, two clubs with rich history of trophies. But Adam, when it comes to the past 10 years, Chelsea are absolutely clear of us when it comes to trophies. I think they're the most successful team in England in the past 10 years. I think I'm right on saying that. Yeah. Just a few more than City and Liverpool. But so Chelsea, since 2010, have won 13 trophies, 2 Premier League titles, 2 Champions Leagues, 1 Club World Cup, 2 Europa Leagues, 3 FA Cups, 1 League Cup, and 1 UEFA Super Cup. That's in the past 12 years. On the other side of the coin, Manchester United have just won 6. 1 Europa League. In fact, I'll see if you can get them. So 6 trophies.
Since
2010.
2010. Okay. Obviously the league, 2 leagues, I think.
2 leagues. Yeah.
2 leagues, FA Cup, that's 3, a Europa League, and a League Cup, and Community Shield doesn't count, does it?
No, I'm not counted. One more.
Oh, what was it?
And one of them's under Fergie.
Another one was under Fergie. Okay. I don't think we won the FA Cup under Fergie again, did we?
No.
Around that time, no.
Close.
League Cup.
Yeah, League Cup.
Oh, was that with Ben Foster against Spurs?
Potentially, yeah. I've got a shit memory. I have to be honest.
No, I literally got the name Foster on the back of my goalkeeper jersey.
All right, well, yeah, you'll know more than me. But yeah, so 1 Europa League, 2 Premier League titles, 2 League Cups, and 1 FA Cup. Only 3 of them, though, coming post-Fergie, and 0 in the past 4 or 5 years, I think. So obviously the last trophy we won was
since the 70s.
Yeah, exactly. Shocking. So Chelsea practically doubling our trophy output in the past 12 years, which is depressing. But bringing it back to the game tomorrow, for most United fans, the season's already over. You know, most of us are just waiting for the summer. I could try and be like, no, we have to fight until the very end. This is Manchester United. But honestly, I don't know about you, Adam, but I have lost all patience with this team. Like it could be 6-0 tomorrow to Chelsea, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. They don't fight for the shirt, and why should we give a shit about them? I care about the club. Obviously, I love the club. I want them to do well, but what I expect from them players tomorrow, I'm not looking forward to it. For all I care, you can play the young, hungry players and play fucking Juan Mata in the middle. Like, I'm really not asked. And when it comes to squad selection, Luke Shaw's still out with a knee injury. Cavani's out with a misplaced hair. Sorry, a calf injury. Paul Pogba's out with a calf injury, and Fred is a doubt with a hip flexor problem. So quite a few players missing for tomorrow's game. Just Adam, if you can, give me your feelings on this game tomorrow, and how do you see it going?
Well, it's probably going to be a tight game, I reckon. It's either going to be tight or really open, and we're going to get absolutely smacked because we've seen what they've done. Not many teams go to the likes of the Bernabeu and beat Madrid over 90 minutes. Like that never really happens. I think Arsenal have done it. We haven't managed to do it, I don't think.
Maybe.
Ajax done it, yeah. Hopefully we can maybe get in there soon. But tomorrow I can kind of... It's hard to tell because if the players show up, they never really do anyway. We might give Chelsea a game. I can probably see a draw, if I'm being honest. Do you expect a similar performance to the one under Carrick, I suppose I'm asking, or do we just collapse in the first 5 minutes again? Because against Liverpool, Diaz scored in 5 minutes, I think it was, first 5 minutes. Yeah. And then against Arsenal, Tavares scored for them in the first 2 minutes. So do you see it going straight away, Chelsea just boom, or do you think it's going to be he might switch it up a bit and go extremely defensive just to try like a boring performance, I suppose? I think Tuchel will do that. He'll probably try and get at us from once the whistle goes, like for a tip-off, because we're pure vulnerable from the opening few minutes. We've seen it now over the last 2 games, especially against what are supposedly our rivals, but they haven't really been this season.
Yeah. Our rivals are Southampton and fucking Wolves and shit. That's our
Wolves,
yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. Like, we can't keep a clean sheet these days. Like, you know, over the first few minutes, like it's actually scary because they just switch off. You're meant to be switched on from them. What's the point of warming up if you can't start the game like this? They spend 30 minutes warming up, getting ready for the game. It kicks off, and then the opening 5 minutes, you can see the goal twice. Yeah. Again, in 2 big important games too, that will dictate whether you're in the Champions League next season or not.
Yeah,
useless.
I've seen more clean sheets in a hostel. Honestly, I can't remember the last time we had a clean sheet. Can you? Because I can't. Got beat off Arsenal. Got beat off Liverpool. Drew to Leicester, 1-1. I can't remember. You know what? Whilst you're just talking,
we've lost 4 of our last. We've lost 4 of our last away games. Sorry, so we're on a run of 4 away defeats in a row, which is our worst. I think I could be wrong, but I think I read it was 1983 was the last time that happened.
All these stats that are creeping out about us now, it's just so depressing, isn't it?
It really is.
We conceded 3 to Arsenal, 4 to Liverpool, 2 to Norwich, 1 to Everton, 1 to Leicester, 1 to Atletico Madrid, 2 to Tottenham, 4 to City, and Watford was our last clean sheet.
Watford. And that was a draw.
That was 0-0. That was the 26th of February. So that's
the 26th of February.
That's 2 months to this day. Dot on 2 months to this day was our last clean sheet, and that was against the bottom of the table pretty much.
Shocking.
Really, really bad. I seen a thing before. I think you mentioned this previously, or it's either that or a similar stat. Manchester United have conceded 6 more goals than 17th placed Burnley this season.
Burnley.
And some even more depressing stats for you. And it just proves that we're just dragging ourselves now, aren't we, to the finish line? Just sort of like, everybody else has finished the race or like very close to finishing it. We're still in the fucking mountains trying to figure out where the finish line is. God knows how
we're turning the other way we are. We're going backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
In the minus.
With quite a few players missing tomorrow, Adam, would you bring any young players into the fold, do you think?
I'd bring a whole new starting 11
a whole new. That's what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd start maybe a few of them, the likes of De Gea, Ronaldo, wouldn't have that fella at the back, you know who I'm talking about. Bring someone else in who wants to play for the shirt. Yeah. Because it's really, really pissing me off.
What have you got to lose now, innit? Like we were saying this before the fucking Arsenal game. Like I know people are going on about top 4, but look, we ain't getting it. It's just happily clip me up. We are not 100% not getting top 4.
Should the manager came out and said it?
Yeah, exactly. He was like, top 4's gone now. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I don't know who Arsenal. I think Arsenal still got Tottenham to play, aren't they? And that's
going to be the decider.
This is our last biggest game, I think, if I'm correct. Like biggest. I mean, like we've got Brentford and a few others, but let me just have a look. So we've got Chelsea, Brentford, Brighton, and Palace. But even look at Brentford, Brighton, and Palace games. They're not nailed on. Brighton play good football. Brentford have gone toe to toe, beat the likes of Chelsea in the past month or so, and Crystal Palace are doing really well under Patrick Vieira. And then the last 2 games are both away. So they ain't nailed on either. So top 4 you can just basically kiss goodbye. Focusing a bit more
on top 7.
Yeah. Just cut out Europa League, Conference League, any of that shit. Yeah. I can't deal with that. I can't be asked with it, to be honest. I'd rather have a full season where we just focus on the league and then FA Cup or whatever. And if we do get Europa League or Conference, then bleed the young players in that. Do you know what I mean? Let them play in it, because what's the worst that can happen? Do you know what I mean? So looking at Chelsea in terms of their form, last 5 results, they beat West Ham 1-0, got beat off Arsenal 4-2, they beat Crystal Palace 2-0, beat Madrid 3-2 in a very impressive performance, and smashed Southampton 6-0. I completely forgot about that game. Southampton always seem to have massive score lines against them, don't they? I think we beat Southampton 9-0. 9-0. Yeah, Leicester beat Southampton 9-0, and Chelsea beat them 6-0. Like they have been slapped quite a few times. They've won 4 and lost 1 against decent opposition, scoring 14 goals and conceding 6. Mason Mount and Kai Havertz are their top scorers with a combined number of 17 goals between them in the league. They have many strengths, they're fluid in the formation, and have a number of players who can hurt you, but can be defensively vulnerable at times and prone to mistakes. Adam, if you're in that dressing room tomorrow before the game, God help you, what are you telling the players to do to hurt them tactically? Like, where do you think you can exploit Chelsea?
Well, they like to play a high line too, and they usually have 3-5 at the back, whatever you want to call it. So if you can play on the shoulder, play a long ball maybe at certain points, that's where you're going to try and break the defence. We see, even look at the Brentford game, what they've done. They were clinical, especially on set pieces. They were.
Manchester United players have to be clinical. Is that what you're saying?
Oh God, yeah, I know. It's like speaking gibberish to them, honestly, because it's something that they're not, especially this season.
Decision making. Make sure it's okay today, and you're shooting and you're dribbling, and don't run into blind alleys. Okay, he's like, okay, no worries, and then First 5 minutes is just like straight into a blind alley, 3 players surrounding him, goes out for a throw, and you're like, oh man,
yeah, it's gonna be a long day.
Really is. It really is. It's so hard trying to find motivation for games now towards the end of the season. It's like scraping the barrel for any bit of hope. This leads me perfectly into my next question. If we do win tomorrow, do we gain anything from it at all? And is it significant to either team? Like, for me, it's probably the most important clash between us in a long while. Do you know what I mean? Because Chelsea's pretty much nailed on third, I believe. See how many points they're on.
Pretty much, yeah.
And we're
Spurs and Arsenal have dropped off.
Yeah, we're nailed to get fuck all, aren't we, if we're being honest. So Chelsea are on 65 points, and they've got a game in hand on Arsenal, and they're 5 points ahead of him. So for them, they pretty much nailed on third. Obviously, they won't be thinking like that going into the game, but just this game feels like it's got no significance at all.
No.
You feel the same way?
Yeah, it almost feels like it's going to feel like a friendly. There's no fight in it. Neither team are really, fighting for anything. Now Chelsea have that position nailed down. We've started waving the white flags to every team we're fucking playing these days.
Doing a Dido.
Yeah, it's actually ridiculous. And it just feels like a friendly. I don't really care what the result is. I obviously want United to win. The only thing I can take is, can Ronaldo pump up some numbers before the end of the season and near the top goal scorer list?
That's the only cling of hope in it. That is literally the only thing we can say. Like, maybe he'll score a hat trick, maybe, because he is Ronaldo, and he has like, I know we discussed him the other night in the show, but he has become such a figure in that team now. Like, without him, I seen before, without Ronaldo's goals, we would be, was it 3 points above the relegation zone?
Points.
Oh, was it 10 points? 10 points, yeah, sorry.
10
points above the relegation zone without his goals. So, yeah, Ronaldo's the only kind of cling of hope. And then that also leads me into a perfect segue for the next question, Adam. De Gea, Ronaldo and Sancho have been the bright sparks in a dark as fuck tunnel. If we were to get anything from the game, it'll be provided on the plate by them. Like, they're the only ones, aren't they? Like, Sancho, especially, I think, in that game against, God remember it, Arsenal, sorry, like, that was a technical masterclass in how to dribble. Like, he was skinny man left, right and centre. And I think if you can get that link up with Ronaldo, that's the only kind of way we'll have something.
Yeah, it's our only creative out at these days. It's crazy because we signed our right winger. We're playing him on the left now because all our left wingers are playing so bad. And we now have no service down the right. I don't know what's happened to Dallo. Maybe when he was taken out of the team, it's like he lost confidence because since he's come back,
he was really bad against Arsenal, wasn't he? Yeah, really bad.
Oh, he was awful, and he was awful against Liverpool as well at times. Like, he gave away the goal. He was pressing way too high up the pitch when they got their first. I don't know what's happened with him as well, because he's supposedly in this clique with the Portuguese speaking players, and they seem like the more bubbly bunch of the lot. So I don't know how he's kind of fallen off. We have no, I think I seen, was it the heat map against Arsenal? Literally all the service was down the left. There was barely anything down the right. Yeah. So
I think that the wing backs in general, Adam, have been like absolutely poor. Tellez and Dallo both been awful. And the way the way Chelsea, I'm going to get into the formation and tactics in a minute, but the way Chelsea overload the sides with the wing backs and stuff, that's going to be another area. Like Liverpool do, heavily rely on the flanks, don't they, with the wingers, and that's going to be an area you're going to have to really watch tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah, they like to do that. I know in their last outing with Arsenal, they kind of got caught a lot on the break going the other way. Maybe it's something that we can exploit since they like to press that high line. So the long ball is probably going to be important. And I can probably see wouldn't surprise me if he threw Rashford in now just for the pace. But we know his decision making. I think he might, yeah. I don't think Elanga will start. So I think maybe he'll put Rashford back on the left, but he likes to swap him and Sancho around during the game anyway a lot. So I know we'll get into the team lineups, but I can probably see that happening.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed for Rashford going on the left. Like I keep saying, why not? What have we got to lose at this point? Put Sancho on the right.
Mate, I play Phil Jones on the right.
Well, yeah, exactly. So we've actually got something on the right, like an outlet. So Sancho, because he's in such good form in a minute, I won't mind putting him there, and then try bring Rashford into a bit of form on the left-hand side, because we know he loves playing there. And that may be an issue for Rashford in general. Why? I'm not saying that's why he's playing so shit, because he's been shit regardless. But obviously his favourite position, especially under Ole, was on that left flank coming in, like making him, runs in behind. And maybe he's, struggling to adapt to the right-hand side. And I think any world-class player should be able to play on both sides and be able to deal with it. But yeah, he just really hasn't adapted to the right. So yeah, like I said, I don't mind that idea. Put him on the left-hand side and see how he gets on. If it's not working within the first 5-10 minutes, then you can just swap him around, can't you? I don't
Exactly,
see no thing in that. But it depends how we're setting up tactically and all that kind of stuff. In terms of how Chelsea set up tactically, 3-4-3, as we know, or a back five, whatever you want to call it. Narrow forwards, wing backs to pin you back, fluent one-touch football, can overload in numbers with a centre-back stepping in to join the attack, like Rudiger, you see him do it all the time. They have good ball-playing midfielders who can conduct a game, like players like Jorginho, but they have a lovely balance of physical players as well, so like Kante and Loftus-Cheek, and really physical, like Rudiger's like the epitome of physical players. Lukaku as well, but obviously hasn't really worked out for him. And he was supposed to be their number 9, their go-to number 9 when they signed him for like 110 million. We as United fans obviously know very well of Romelu Lukaku, and somehow managed playing him out on the right-hand side, which is ultimately why he left to go. Inter killed it for Inter Milan. Came back to the Premier League and it's not worked out for him at all. I think he's got 5 goals this season in the league or something, which is just mental, absolutely mental. I think Fred's got one less goal than him. Something like that.
Wow. It's what I find mad about the top 3. They don't really play in their starting teams a recognised striker. They don't. City don't. Liverpool play 3 wingers up front. And Chelsea as well, they're playing Mason Mount, Havertz. You could argue Werner, but he's playing more on the left side these days as well. So the top 3 don't play with a recognised number 9, and it's just a recent thing that I've noticed. And I know we're kind of in the market for a number 9 now, a young one. So it's like
it's weird you mention that,
can play in the middle.
It's weird you mention that, because I was literally thinking that yesterday. I was thinking City don't play with a 9. Chelsea don't play with a 9, like when I was doing my notes for this, and then Liverpool play with like Jota there. Maybe that's kind of the way it's starting to go now. It's very strange. Kai Havertz for them has kind of took that burden on, and he's starting to look more and more impressive, and he scored some massive goals for them, like in the finals. I know he scored obviously in the Champions League final, got the winner from there. I think against Liverpool, even though they lost it, I'm pretty sure he scored in that game as well. Did he score? Did that go down to penalties that game? Can't remember. But he's definitely scored big goals for him anyway. And he's starting to look more like their kind of striker. And they obviously paid quite a lot of money for him. So they paid like 70 million for him or something, didn't they?
I think it was something like that. Yeah, because people were saying, "Oh, this guy's a flop," but he's young and he's learning. Yeah,
I do think he will be a good player. I think there's still levels to go up in his performances. So be interesting to see.
There's one player too who's perfect if we were to kind of adapt that style. And I know you know who it is as well. Certain French kind of forward for Leipzig.
Nkunku,
yeah, he's played a lot in that kind of role for Leipzig. He's got, I think, back-to-back player of the month now. Bundesliga.
That's a very good shout. Very good shout.
So get versatile players.
Yeah, I think he would fit perfect in their system, actually. I think Chelsea was to go by Nkunku, he would be perfect for them, because the way they play they have the front 3 that go narrow. He can play in any one of them positions, left forward, like a right forward, or like a 9, or even a false 9. He'd be perfect for them. So that could be an outside shot. That they could go sign him. It wouldn't surprise me, depending on what's. You don't know what's happening with the transfers at the minute, do you? Obviously, Rudiger's just gone to Real Madrid, so fuck knows what's going on there. But yeah, looking at the talent across the pitch, Adam, obviously decent in most areas. But where do you think the key battles will be played tomorrow? Do you think?
Midfield, and we don't really have a midfield right now. It's a bit of a worry. Like, who do we have honestly in midfield? We have McTominay, Bruno, Matic. That's it. That's probably going to be our midfield tomorrow.
Yeah, Fred's still out, so.
And then you look at the quality there of Jorginho, like Kovacic. I know he doesn't really play as much. Still a quality player. I have him in a heartbeat. Yeah, I have him in a heartbeat. Yeah, they have him. They have Kante, who would solve literally all our problems if we were to sign him in that kind of area. We had an opportunity to sign him not too long ago too. I remember it was either that or keep Fred, and Fred was playing well at the time, so we ended up holding on to him.
Well, it highlights recruitment. Like if you look at I think Chelsea paid 30 million for him from Leicester, and you're looking at it like, and we paid obviously 80 million for Maguire, and you're like, have I missed something here? Like Kante was world class in that season they won the league. And he's like, right, I'm going to Chelsea. They're like, yeah, give us 30 million, don't worry. But 30 million pounds for N'Golo Kante. He got man of the match in the run-up to when they won the Champions League. He got man of the match in both the semi-final legs and was incredible in the final as well. Like, he is a really, really good player. One of the best in the world, if not the best, in that sort of defensive position. He'd be quality in our team. So, yeah, you think midfield, you think wing-backs will be any, obviously, wingers against wing-backs?
Well, it will be a battle, but it's probably going to be a massacre for our wing backs, if I'm being honest. So not much fight from our lot at that side. It's probably been the weakest. Would you argue with centre back? It's probably been the weakest position this season. We saw what the likes of Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, when they're in form, what they can do. We were arguing at one point with the best fullbacks against Liverpool in the league not too long ago.
Yeah.
Well, we got a reality check there this
real
season
quick.
Anyway. Yeah, real quick. Yeah. Life comes at you really, really fast.
One thing I'm thinking in my head is Telles and Dalot really get high up the pitch and they don't know the defensive position is all over the place. And I feel like I'm going to make a prediction for tomorrow, not a score prediction or anything like that, but I'm going to clip this up. They will be in a really advanced position and either Alonso or Reece James will take advantage of it. They'll get across into the box or they'll score a goal from it. And you see it happening. Like it's so obvious unless they play with a lot more defensive discipline, which I can't just see happening overnight. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But staying on the back five, Adam, how do you feel about that system? Because me personally, I'm a fan of it, but most people seem to dislike it. And I'm not really sure why, because I believe anyway it's effective.
It is really effective. It puts a lot of pressure on the opposition. It does, especially when those wing backs, they kind of tuck in, kind of to overload the midfield. I wouldn't say I'm a fan of it. I prefer a more traditional back four. I do. I just prefer that kind of style of play, that formation. But like we've seen the top teams, they do adapt it. So it's something that they all train. We've seen City have done it as well. Every now and then they've thrown it out. All the top teams in Europe have kind of taken, bits of it and they kind of throw it depending on the game. So it's almost like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like every time they look at the opposition they're playing, they're going to adapt whatever formation or style of play.
Very flexible.
Yeah, they're flexible. Yeah. They're flexible and we haven't really been that way. We've just been stuck to our guns. Ralph tried to switch things up, didn't work out. The players are just used to one style of play, one formation right now. And when they're out of their comfort zone, they tend to screw up. And I know they're screwing up in supposedly the system that they're comfortable in right now. And but for me, I'm not really a big fan of it, but it seems to be effective for all these top clubs in Europe who do it every now and then.
Yeah, I feel like Chelsea seem to use it a lot. Like even under Conte, they use it a lot. It just seems to suit them. I don't know why. Because I remember when Conte first took charge, they was playing a back four and he was getting battered for like the first 6 weeks, I think, of the season. And then against Arsenal, they changed it to a back five and beat him 3-1 and then went on a massive run. And then ended up winning the league under him. And then obviously Conte's used it at Inter Milan, won the Scudetto over there in Italy, and he's using it with Tottenham at the minute. And they look for Tottenham are looking all right. So I don't mind it. I think it's got a lot of fluidity. That's why I like it. You have to have versatile players in the system, and there's a lot of emphasis on wing backs. But if you can get yourself two really world class wing backs, like if you remember the first few months of the season, Chilwell and Reece James had more goals combined than Messi and Neymar, at PSG. Like they were banging them in, absolutely. But if you've got world-class player in each position, I'm not saying Chilwell's world-class, but at that time when he was playing and he was in form, he was absolutely killing it for him. So yeah, I don't mind it, but I was just wanting to get your opinion on it just to see. But yeah, interesting.
It kind of cuts out a traditional number 10, doesn't it? And I think as United, we all like that traditional number 10.
Yeah, that's why the balance in the midfield has to be perfect. That's why Jorginho and Kante really work well. Or if it's Kovacic and Jorginho, or somebody, you have the aggressor and you have the one who conducts the game. I think that's why it really works well for Chelsea. But if you was to take one player from Chelsea, who would you take and why?
Rudiger, but obviously we can't now.
Would that be actually your first choice? Yeah, Rudiger.
Him or Kante, it has to be that one of them two for me. I know we've had issues up front, but there are two problem areas they are right now. Maybe even you look at James too, Reece James.
Reece James is so good. Yeah, he's so good. Like it's depressing to I remember at one point as well, like at the Euros, so just before England obviously went over to the Euros. I was saying, how's Wan-Bissaka not got in? Like, how has he not even got a shout? Like, him and Reece James are kind of like, and then I look at it now on the gulf in class between them both. I'm just like, oh, you get made to look like an idiot, don't you, at times? Especially when you make bold predictions and statements. But yeah, Reece James is top drawer in there.
Yeah, I probably want one of them three, but if I'm going to take one, I'm probably going to say Kante. I love the fella. He's so likable. He's as you said, back-to-back semi-finals, man of the match. We know how he's an anchor in that French national team as well. Probably someone Pogba could have liked a lot to have beside him, but it obviously never happened. And look what he's done when he came into that Leicester team. He transformed them. I know every one of them, it was a mad season for them, but he was one of the reasons they won that title that year.
Absolutely.
And yeah, he can. Ferguson said it: defense wins titles, and he's just right ahead of the defense, and he protects them a lot more.
He was their most important on that run up to Champions League. He was their most important player, 100%. 100%. Like, you can throw goals and assists and all that kind of shit into it, but when it comes to a player who works for the system and grafts his ass off, N'Golo Kante is number one in the world. No, hands down. And
he'll never complain as well, whether who comes in if he disagrees with someone. Everyone in the dressing room likes him. I know it sounds bad. He's just perfect.
Yeah, he is. He must be like a coach's dream, innit? I remember Tuchel when he first came in, he was absolutely, because I think under Lampard, he not became out of favour, but what Lampard was playing him sometimes on the right, playing him like further up the pitch, and he didn't really suit him. Like, so he'd have, I think he had Jorginho and Kovacic, and then Kante on the right. Really strange. And then Tuchel came in and was just like a father figure. He was like praising the fuck out. Even before he joined Chelsea, he was like, I love N'Golo, I love him, all this kind of shit. And then he went in there and was just like, just obviously revamped him, and he's looking absolutely incredible for him. I would take Jorginho personally.
Okay.
I think we need both types of DMs. I think we need someone like a Kante and a Jorginho, someone who can conduct a game. That's why we always say, a Neves and a Tchouaméni. But I just think Jorginho, the way he takes the ball on, and like, it just seems class and never seems to be under pressure. Do you know what I mean? No. I feel he could his passing range is really good. He's solid, consistent most of the time. Obviously, he's got quite a few goals, and you can say the penalties or whatever, but you still have to finish him. Bruno Fernandes couldn't finish a penalty last week, so there's still high pressure on him, and he scores in the big moments. I know he actually missed a penalty recently, didn't he? It just popped into my head, but 9 times out of 10 he slots it away. And I rate him as a player, so I take Jorginho. I think he'd be a good player for United. I'm not sure how old is Jorginho. Do you know? I feel like it's like late 20s, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I think he could be in the late 20s.
30.
He's 30, okay.
Yeah, so he's 30, and N'Golo Kante is 31, and Kovacic is 27.
So they're going to be in the that's why they've kind of been linked to Rice for a bit as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but we'll see what happens with their transfer ban. I'm not entirely sure not transfer ban, but
you never know.
The situation. Yeah, what's going on over there? Time for the all-time 11 combined, Adam. So all-time Chelsea, all-time Man United. It's going to get a bit dicey. What formation do you want to go with first of all?
Good. Go with 4 at the back.
I was going to say, yeah, so I was going to say, do you want to be old school and go with a 4-4-2, or do you want to go with a more 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3? What do you think? Because I feel like 4-4-2 is more where the best United and Chelsea players were kind of at, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'd probably go 4-4-2.
Okay. Goalkeeper, Petr Cech, Van der Sar. Am I missing any really good Chelsea keepers? No, I'm not. I'm not having Schmeichel.
I know you don't like him.
So we'll say Petr Cech or Van der Sar. Obviously, both the keepers that were in the finale.
It's tough, but I think just on the Premier League history, I'm probably going to give it to Petr Cech. I know it's not a popular shout, but he's the most clean sheets, I think, in Premier League history as well. So just that side, but I really like Edwin though.
I think United fans will absolutely drill us for this, but I'd probably agree with you. To be honest, I'd probably say Petr Cech. Yeah, let's go with Petr Cech. Oh, it's an hard one that. The United fans are like, what the fuck are you on about? Shut up. But yeah. Right back. Oh, this is interesting. So let me just get some Chelsea right backs up because
that's a Blackwater.
Yeah, consistency wise, he's very good. He's won quite a few trophies with him. You've obviously got Gary Neville, Reece James, if you want to, in terms of individual ability, Reece James is probably above him, I'd say.
Probably would you argue with that? But oh no, I wouldn't argue with that. Talent wise, I think he's ahead of the other two. But I think we've been saying it.
Consistency and trophies come into it, don't they? Yeah. I feel like I'm missing a really big. No, Victor Moses, Aspilicueta, Steve Clark. No disrespect, Steve. So it's really Aspilicueta, Gary Neville, Reece James. I can't think of any more for Chelsea. Boss Winger, do you remember him? The unibrow went all the way across. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna go with. Oh, this is really hard. This one. I'm gonna go with Gary Neville.
I'm gonna go Gary Neville too. Just be loyal before we're absolutely castrated here with people watching.
It's a United fan channel, you know what I mean? So centre backs. This is where it's. I'm gonna go out, and even though they wouldn't have been the best partnership, definitely wouldn't have been the best partnership. I'll say Terry and Rio.
Oh, okay. I'm a massive fan of Vidic. I love Vidic. I think he's the best defender I've probably seen.
I think he's better than Terry.
It's tough. I think the two of them were there. Yeah, they were there. I really don't like John Terry as a person, but as a footballer and a defender, you could argue, for many, he'd probably be in all-time Premier League 11s.
Yeah, you got Ricardo Carvalho as well, who was really good alongside John Terry. Obviously, that when they had that part when Mourinho first came in, as I touched on before, them first two seasons when they had like one of the best defensive records ever, him and Carvalho were key in that. So I'm just gonna throw his name out there, but I would say John Terry. I know he's a twat, John Terry, but I would say John Terry and Rio Ferdinand.
Probably say Terry, Vidic. One thing I found out about Terry was I think he's captained the most title-winning teams in Premier League history, one more than Roy Keane. So he has that on his side too. I think it's 6-5. It could be, or 5-4 or something like that.
Forgot about Desai as well. Desai was a really good centre back. Really good. I don't know. I'm talking. The reason why I say Rio and Terry is for balance. I think like one would be Rio's pace and his ability on the ball is really good, and then you've got Terry's leadership, captain, can read the game really well, can conduct a team around him. I'm not even got a coin. I say we should flip a coin. I'm not even got a coin to flip. Flip me COVID test.
Oh, go on, yeah. Is it positive or negative?
Right, so Nick's at the back there, yeah. So if it lands on that, we'll go with Rio or Rio and Terry. If it lands on that side, we'll have a Vidic and Terry. Okay. I don't know how this is going to work. Well, landing on that side. Oh, the Knicks side. Right, so we'll have Rio and Terry. Sorry. Yeah, bit laggy there in my head, sorry. Left back, Ashley Cole. It's got to be Ashley Cole for me.
Geez, we have 3 Chelsea players so far.
Yeah, but don't worry, we're getting into the midfield and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
But then they have got some good players as well. Oh,
yeah. Let's go at the right. Let's go right mid
right
first.
side. Yeah. Right. Okay.
What? Yeah. Joe Cole, Beckham,
Ronaldo.
Yeah, you could argue Ronaldo on that side.
Obviously, when he was the best at United, it was when he was on the wing, wasn't it?
Robin.
Arjen Robben as well. I tell you what, Chelsea have had some good players, man. Some really good players. They had Damien. It was Damien Duff a right winger? Was he more of a?
Was he right or left?
I'm not putting him in the same conversation, by the way. I'm just thinking yeah.
What?
No offense. No offense. I know you got a bit of an Irish bias there. Yeah. So Beckham's better than Joe Cole, and Ronaldo's better than Joe Cole. So it's between Beckham or Ronaldo. Like, what's your preference?
We have Beckham on the right, Ronaldo on the left.
well, then what about Giggs? This is what I mean. Do you have Giggs in there, or?
Oh, it's
a lot of twats in his team as well. This is like Ashley Cole, Terry, Giggs if he's going in. I really don't know what to go with it. I will go with David Beckham.
I'll probably go back. Yeah, Becks.
Yeah? David Beckham. Okay. Should we do the next winger and then we'll get into midfield? So we'll do the left side.
Yeah.
Left side. I can't really left side for Chelsea. Left.
Willian.
Oh God. It's got to be Ryan Giggs on it.
Giggsy. If you wanted to put Ronaldo on the left. Eden Hazard, yeah.
In his prime was different gravy. Talent alone, I'd say Hazard, but longevity and trophies won. It's got to be Giggs on it. Has to be Giggs. But I appreciate
player.
Yeah, the streets will never forget Hazard. He was an absolute baller. Like best player in the Premier League for a while at Chelsea. It was really good. Yeah, he destroyed us quite a few times. Destroyed Arsenal. I've seen him absolutely shred Arsenal from like he skinned about 6 players and scored a goal against them. Like, he was unplayable. But it was like Ryan Giggs. Yeah. Midfield, Kante, Makalele, Essien, Lampard, Scholes, Giggs, Scholes, Keane, Carrick, Anderson. No, I'm joking. Yeah, so Carrick, Scholes, Keane,
Makalele,
Kante is definitely getting thrown in the mix. Essien, Lampard.
Yeah.
That's that's the hardest one, that.
Yeah, I knew this would be the problem area.
Really because I really rate all. Like, honestly, I rate all. I think Essien was really good. Lampard.
Remember that goal he got against Arsenal?
The volley
outside of the foot. Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Player.
Oh, that is hard. Scholes got to be in there.
Yeah, I really.
That, yeah.
Could he go
Scholes? Has to be in there.
Lampard.
Over Keane.
I really. That's it too.
I think again, if you're going with balance, Paul Scholes, obviously in his later years when he went into that regista role, kind of sat back and dictated the game, and you had Lampard, that's like the box to box. When he was in his prime, you've got the greatest goal scoring midfielder, and then the greatest controller of the game in Paul Scholes. I think that'd probably work, right? Even though, like, shout out to Kante, Makalele, Essien, Kino, like shout out to all them. That's really hard, that one. But yeah, we'll go with we'll have Paul Scholes and we'll have Lampard in midfield. Then up top, so you've got Andy Cole, Wayne Rooney, Eric Cantona, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Drogba. Am I missing any strikers out for Chelsea?
Diego Costa.
Oh my God. Yeah, if you want someone to get sent off, he's your fucking man.
Yeah.
Why is Drogba the only one I could think of?
Anelka.
Zola,
yeah.
Yeah, no one else in that team I can think. Samuel Eto'o, Shevchenko.
He had him for a while, Shevchenko.
Yeah, but they weren't great there, were they?
No,
he was at Chelsea.
No.
Well, like
doesn't Samuel Eto'o not actually know his real age or something?
Yeah, there was something dodgy with that. I think I know you're on about. Yeah. So Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank was decent, but not there. Zola or Drogba, the only one in conversation, but in comparison to the other ones, nah, not for me. Even Andy Cole. Andy Cole's got something like 183 goals. Ruud van Nistelrooy was an absolute killer in the box. Absolute killer.
Fox in the box. Like, Ruud is one of my all-time favorite players. Like, I absolutely love him.
That's like an all-out striker.
He was. Perfect. He's literally the perfect striker. Do you remember the goal he scored? I think was it against Fulham when he picked it up on the D in the middle of the pitch and just dribbled. Like, he had that in him too. He wasn't just a tap-in merchant that many people think.
That's kind of like the stigma that got attached to him, because obviously he was a great, fox in the box or whatever, but he did score other goals, like other really great goals. So it was a weird one, that. Oh, I think.
I think Rooney.
Drogba was unplayable as well. Unplayable.
His cup final record too, scoring in cup finals.
Yeah, big goals, massive goals. Yeah.
Champions League, he got them back into it.
I'm gonna go with Drogba and
Rooney. I think that seems fair. Yeah.
Do you think? Are you sure? You seem a little bit unsure because of Ruud van Nistelrooy, is it?
Yeah. I absolutely love Ruud. But like, I can appreciate well, not really appreciate. I can hate the fella for what he done for Chelsea in cup finals. His last touch of the ball was winning Chelsea the biggest club competition. It's poetic to end a career like that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Like, going out like that, I think that's fair. It's some bloody team though.
That is a team, right? So this is our all-time. Yeah, you can run through it if you want to do.
Yeah, this is our all-time Chelsea, Manchester United Premier League era. Yeah, Premier League era team. So Petr Cech in goals, Neville right back, Rio and Terry centre backs, Ashley Cole, or Cashley Cole, many call them. Giggs on the left, Scholes and Lampard in the middle, David Beckham on the right, and Drogba and Rooney.
I just realised we've got the England midfield thingy, haven't we?
Yeah.
Oh no,
pretty
sorry,
much other than Giggs.
Yeah, other than Giggs. Sorry, I was thinking, but yeah.
Well, you'd put who would it be? Gerrard there, and you'd put Scholes on the left. That's where he was played. Yeah.
I don't know why Carrick never got used in that, by the way. Like, he was never brought into it. Never understood that. Because Carrick was another great talent who deserves a mention. Yeah. But yeah, so, and then we had, did you say Rooney and Drogba up top, wasn't it?
Rooney and Drogba. You could almost, put Drogba up front, Rooney behind them if you wanted to.
Yeah,
play
exactly.
Them beside each other.
If you wanted to switch it up. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, really good team, that. Now on to the predicted 11 for tomorrow's game. I do. Who do we think?
I'm going to go.
Shall we go first? I'll go first.
Yeah, do you want to go first?
David De Gea in there, Wan-Bissaka at right back, because I thought Dalot was poor, and we're going to have a lot of defending down the sides. So I think Wan-Bissaka's going to start. Varane and Maguire, I think Maguire will come back into it. Telles to start because we've got nobody else. Bruno, Matic, McTominay again because we've got nobody else. I personally I'd even throw Mata or Hannibal Mabry in there just to switch it up, just for a different option. Do you know what I mean? And then, as we said before with the Rashford thing, I think Rashford, Ronaldo and Sancho will start. And maybe your theory on Rashford going on the left and Sancho going on the right, I think that could come to fruition. So, yeah, that's my predicted 11. What is yours, Mr. Gray?
I just change Dalot. I think Dalot will play. I just think that's what he's going to go with. I don't think he really trusts Wan-Bissaka. All the leaks coming out saying that he's apparently on his list to get shipped off. So I think he'll just start him. Like, we have no options in midfield. That's our only midfield. I would prefer to see some of the youngsters start. Even Mata, when he came on against Norwich, he was hands down better. Like, in the 15-minute spell he done, he was better than Paul Pogba in the rest of the game.
Just takes care of the ball, doesn't it? Like it's his son.
does.
Like it's so delicate with the football. And as a technician, it's wonderful. It's just how long he can last. That's the thing. Same thing with Matic in it. That's the only thing that concerns.
That's the thing. If you had Mat's brain in Rashford's body, that's the player you want.
How many times have we said this with so many players? Like if we could combine players in some mad genetical experiment and just be like, right, Dalot, Wan-Bissaka, you're combined. De Gea, Dean Henderson, you're combined.
Dragon Ball Z fusion.
Exactly. Or Yu-Gi-Oh! Polymerization. You know
it's polymerization.
Yeah, whack one of them cards on him. McTominay and Fred, you can put McTominay, Fred and Matic, you can throw together. Sorry, Donny and McTominay, you could probably throw together to create a player. There's a lot of players that you can do that with. So we've done predicted 11s. Does that no? You've not done yours yet, have you?
I haven't. Oh no! Well, I just said change Wan-Bissaka for Dalot.
Yeah, sorry. Go
on. Change Wan-Bissaka for Dalot for Wan-Bissaka, and
Brain's just going no.
Yeah, and then the midfield. Maguire, Varane, Telles. In midfield, it has to be those three: Matic, McTominay, and Bruno, because we have no one else. And up front, I think he will go with Rashford, Ronaldo, Sancho.
Oh, that's why I've just clocked you only said, Wan-Bissaka for Dalot, because I think it's the exact same team in it. There's no one else to choose from, really. Even the predicted 11s are getting fucking boring. Oh, my God. Something slightly different. Score predictions. Adam, do you want to go first on this one? As I'm caressing my microphone.
At all. It's hard to be confident, if I'm being honest. It wouldn't surprise me if Chelsea walked away with a 3-1 win.
And that's my exact prediction as well, 3-1.
I think it's 3-1 Chelsea. I hate being negative. I was so positive when I started Real Reds Talk. I was like, okay, we're going to win this. We're going to win that. But as the season has gone on, I've become more and more depressed. And it's coming out in my player ratings and my score predictions. I think it's going to be 3-1 Chelsea.
Goal scorers, you think? I think Mason Mount will score. I think one of the defenders will score. Like a Rudiger from a corner, or maybe a Reece James or something, I think.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Havertz, someone like that. It wouldn't surprise me if Werner scored. And then for us, Ronaldo, stat pattern.
It's got to be in it. Yeah, really. I really think we need a performance from Bruno Fernandes tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's one player who's felt well off the boil. Like the rest of the players, I kind of like expect it a bit, like people like Rashford and like Wan-Bissaka and these kind of guys. So I expect it from them. But Ronaldo, I think he will put in a performance tomorrow. I think Bruno Fernandes needs to have a massive game. If we're to get anything from the game tomorrow, if he can turn up into the form, we know we can play. You've got Sancho who's in bright form, Ronaldo, like that's the cling of hope I have. So I would say even a goal from Bruno, I think tomorrow, and a decent goal.
A penalty?
No, not a penalty. Yeah, Ronaldo, take the penalty. If you get it, just take it for God's sake. Because that Arsenal game, I believe if Ronaldo would have taken that, it would have got that game would have gone completely a different way. I think he would have.
I think Ronaldo would have got the hat trick.
Yeah. Obviously, everything's easy in hindsight, and people can say it, but really, Ronaldo's flying at the minute. Like he's doing well, so just take it. You know what I mean? And in high pressure situations in the world, out of any footballer that's ever played, who do you want taking it? It's Ronaldo, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it just makes sense. Reliable. Don't switch it up. Yeah, Mr. Reliable. Don't switch it up. What the fuck are you doing? Just let him take it. So yeah, interesting predictions there, Adam. Right, that is the preview finished. So the match is live tomorrow, 7:45 kickoff, I believe. We will be live for the team news, halftime reaction, and post-match analysis as always. So make sure you join us. And thank you for watching, guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click that button just below. This video, for, videos like this, I mean to say, for content, all that kind of shit, everything that you love, it's here at Real Reds Talk on our YouTube channel. So make sure you check the videos out. Loads of different variety as well. It's not all just like transfer news or match previews. It shows like the voice of the fans where people were sending clips in. It shows like rehab where it's a completely different concept and we're venting about United. Like, there's absolutely loads of shit. So anything you're into, just go down the video kind of thing and have a look on there. Also follow us on socials if you like. Just type in Real Reds Talk on any platform. You should be able to find us. If not, the link should be in the video description. And thank you, Adam, for joining me as always. I appreciate your time and thoughts. Fingers crossed for a good performance tomorrow, but I certainly ain't going to hold my breath. Let's see what happens.
No.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. We will see you in the next one, guys. Hopefully with a smile on our faces. I seriously doubt it, but we've got to try to be positive, haven't we, Adam?
We got to try at least. Put the mask on. The mask on.
Exactly. Hopefully Adam will have that on tomorrow. Let's see what happens. Cheers, guys, for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
Right. See you guys.